The leather and textile sectors are among the fastest growing sectors in the COMESA region, as Africa is fast emerging as one of the future markets for sourcing quality products for the booming global industry. To this effect, COMESA has developed deliberate policies to help the sectors through provision of training and equipment in member states. Malawi is the latest beneficiary of 2 regional integration projects expected to spur the leather and textile industry in the country. These are a state-of-the-art leather design studio and a garments and textile incubation center. Both projects have been funded by the European Union under the COMESA Regional Integration Support Mechanism (RISM) and the Technical Cooperation Facility (TFC) at a total cost of $465,000. The studio took $375,000 and the incubation center cost $90,000. The projects were launched on Friday, November 19, 2018 in the city of Blantyre, characterized by pomp and splendor. The launching ceremony was led by Malawian Minister of Industry, Trade and Tourism, Mr. Henry Mussa, Assistant Secretary General in charge of programs, Dr. Kipyego Cheluget, and EU representative, Mr. Jose Maria Medina Navarro. Senior government officials, members of the diplomatic corps and the general public also attended the launch. The leather design studio, managed by the Malawi Enterprise Productivity Enhancement Project MEPE, is in Chileka area, while the incubation center is located at Chichiri Trade Fair Grounds in Blantyre and is managed by the Malawi Chambers of Commerce and Industry.
This plant at the leather design studio actually is going to benefit, firstly, the SMEs, because when they come here, they'll have their products made up to standard. And not only that, we now have a plant that can produce all the boots and shoes that the nation can have. And finally, for the whole African region, this is actually a good example that we can share around and be self-sufficient in the end.
We nominate one kudzera mu incubation ni anthu amene pamakasta mwathu pamakhala anthu ena amakhala ndi katundu wochuluka amene afuna asapange azasitokere kunoko, ndi anthu amene achatamati tikalowa katundu awo chamagwidwa ntchito kwa period yochepa. You can see it ndi machine ambirimbiri, even ukafuna ma t-shirt because tikatika kuti machine athu ayo and embroidery and computerized timatenga and 6 heads, but 6 heads yamagwira wose ntchito pakamodzi. Ndiye kuti wewe timathaona kuti katundu amene tingagwirise ntchito tingapange produce ndi ochuluka per day than merely ma location mwinamo.
Speaking during the launch, the minister said the leather and garments and textiles sectors have the potential to grow exponentially as Malawi is well endowed with the much needed raw materials for the sectors. He called on the SMEs in Malawi to take advantage of the modern equipment provided under the project.
For some time, we've witnessed the majority of our produce being exported raw. And we're saying, no, we're actually exporting jobs. We have to add value. We have to process our produce, our products into finished goods. Then we talk about exports. What that does is to create employment, of course, but above all is to bring in the much needed forex. This is the starting point. In fact, Malawi has been independent now for the past donkey years, since 1964. We are witnessing the dawn of this revolution.
We are excited, Honorable Minister, that the government is showing commitment to revitalize this sector. You may also wish just to note, Honorable Minister, I think last year or so, through the MEPE project, we gave Makoha state-of-the-art equipment. This demonstrates that we want really this sector to grow.
In his remarks, Dr. Kipyego Cheluget described the launch of the facilities as a game changer which should spearhead a revolution in the leather and garment sectors in Malawi and the region at large.
We are actually creating a revolution here. We want to create a revolution. You've seen the young people who are here, very, very eager to learn, and we have the technologies out there, and through us and the European Union we can access this. We have been told that we produce very few shoes, but everybody has a pair of shoes here, and there are like 1.1 billion Africans in this continent, and I'm sure most of them have 2 legs. So if you have 1 billion times 2, can you imagine that kind of market? Yet we are only, I'm told we are only producing, what, 20 million shoes? So how about the other million and millions of shoes? That means all our money is going out to China and to other places, even for things that we are wearing ourselves. So we could actually help ourselves by making these things ourselves. So that is the revolution I'm talking about.
The European Union Commission proposed the total financial envelope for Africa to be raised from the current 32.5 billion euros for the budgetary framework of 2014 to 2020 to 40 billion euros for the next budgetary framework of 2021 to 2027. Mr. Navarro indicated that the EU has further proposed to mobilize additional grant for blending instruments of about 4.1 billion euros and private sector investment in Africa to 44 billion euros by 2020.
The EU has proposed the total financial envelope for Africa to be raised from 42 billion euros to 60 billion euros for the next budgetary framework. In addition, the EU proposes to mobilize additional grants for blending instruments of about 4.1 billion euros, expected to mobilize private sector investments in Africa to the tune of 44 billion euros by 2020. I know that this is a lot of figures, but these are large amounts to any scale. Allow me also to stress here that this consists of non-reimbursable grants, because we do not want to saddle African countries with additional debt denominated in a foreign currency.
The launch of these facilities means more jobs for youth and women of Malawi, resulting in improved livelihoods of the citizens.